So in the state of Washington, and nationally and in a large part worldwide, search and rescue is conducted by volunteers for these kind of backcountry search and rescue or blue sky search and rescue missions. So the everyday lost hiker, injured hunter, those situations where someone is out of the reach of a normal emergency services. So an ambulance cannot drive to them or whatever else, whether it be that they're hard to access technically or just down the beaten path somewhere. So yeah, it's by and large, it's completely done by volunteers, which I find really incredible that people commit such a large amount of time. And really and truly, I try to avoid the term volunteer and lean towards unpaid professional, because really the work that they're providing is exactly like what a professional unit would be providing if they were paid. They're just not. And so, yeah, in Washington and nationwide, volunteers are doing it. There's never a charge for the search and rescue services if it stays kind of in those volunteer units, and generally too if we're calling in outside resources as well. And that's completely supported by the search and rescue community. They don't want anyone to hesitate to call for help because they're afraid of a bill coming or something like that. They want to be able to get there and help them in a time that help can be provided and not wait too long and all of that.
So for your position at the state level, when a search and rescue situation happens, let's say it crosses county lines, that's where your office kind of gets involved a little bit more and really kind of helps with the coordination. Yeah,
and so the situation doesn't necessarily have to cross county lines, but a lot of times, especially a bigger search, a mission that requires just more manpower or like a very specific technical capability, it might be more than what one county's resources can handle. And so being able to bring in resources from out of county that are all covered under the same emergency worker program, so it's quick and it's seamless, and either bring in those volunteer resources they need, or we also partner very heavily with military, especially aviation resources, and some other state and county-based kind of more technical paid resources that can come in as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned the volunteer working program. They're really unpaid professionals. Can you kind of talk about that program and how do you get involved with that program?
Community emergency response teams, which are really local-based teams ready to stand up in that disaster situation and be the force multipliers for the local fire services and emergency medical services. There's also amateur radio groups that are ready to help with communications, and really there's all kinds of incredibly unique volunteer groups that have just seen a need within their county and worked with their emergency management to fill that need and be that partnership that's needed, that there may not be a paid resource or have the capacity to have somebody on a permanent staff to fill that need. And so with that, really, if you're interested in getting involved in volunteering in the emergency management capacity, whether it be search and rescue or otherwise, reaching out to your local jurisdiction and seeing what groups are out there. Also, I would be more than happy if anyone wanted to email me and ask where to get involved.